Unlike plagues of the Dark Ages or contemporary diseases we do not understand, the modern plague of overpopulation is soluble by means we have discovered and with resources we possess. What is lacking is not sufficient knowledge of the solution, but universal consciousness of the gravity of the problem and education of the billions who are its victims. Okay, so since this lesson 2.02 on human population growth is heavy in so much vocabulary, I am choosing instead to do an actual screencast so that I can show you the lesson so that you can see the key terms that I'm referring to. So the first thing that it goes over is demography. That's just a straight textbook definition of the study of human populations. So why that is important is for this calculation right here that you guys will need to actually know and understand how to computate yourselves because you will have to do this later in a test type situation. So first thing you need to know is the natural increase, which is just the number of births in the population minus the deaths. And then you need the net migration, which gives you the terms immigration with an I and emigration with an E. Immigration with an I, you can think of the term of into because it's someone moving into an area, as where emigration with an E is somebody exiting an area. So you take those two numbers and calculate them. And then once you have those two numbers, then you can add them together and you will see an either growth in a population or a decrease in the population. Usually, that decrease in the population can be attributed to numerous factors. There may have been a plague in the area, there may have been a mass exiting or emigration. So it's usually linked back to something pretty substantial. So here it's very clear to see that our current human population is experiencing an exponential growth curve because it looks more like the letter J than it does the letter S. So we are definitely going through exponential growth. Well, why is this? If you think about the time span of the human population, we started out as more of a nomadic hunter-gatherer style population, and then we introduced farming, we introduced medicines, then we went through the Renaissance, then we went through the scientific and the industrial revolution. So we had more and more technology happening that made it to where humans were able to live longer. So we have numerous factors that are contributing to the population getting higher and higher and higher. And as we get to that point, we're going to eventually break. We're going to eventually come to a point of no return. Have you ever been curious how many people are in the US versus how many people are in the world? Well, here's your answer. Census.gov several years ago put together this world population clock that keeps the tally for us. Check it out. We have 324 million people in the United States and over 7 billion people on the planet. That is bananas. If you go back to the early 1900s, back a little bit post industrial revolution, we had a substantial increase for numerous reasons throughout the industrial revolution. We had new technology, people were able to move into cities, sanitation got better, we began a healthcare system. So comparing 1750 versus 1900, you see a big difference. So that's where this comes in, of taking a flip back, kind of going into a history lesson of why the human population got to where it is now. And a lot of that had to do with the Industrial Revolution. It had to do with life expectancy getting better, and also just health care for the babies that helped to lower the infant mortality rate. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention with this last section of 2.02 with human populations is that it goes very in depth of talking about the Black Death, the bubonic plague, and there is a very good description of this on history.com. So I will share this out in an email and in a news feed to you guys as well. But I really urge you guys to go to history.com and then look up Black Death. It has videos that you can watch and other information about what the Black Death was that goes into a lot better detail than some of the other websites that I have seen before. So, with that being said, this page goes into the negative things that can happen due to human population rising that we've seen numerous times in the past, and that we are now seeing with the human population, even in the United States, with Zika becoming a thing. So I urge you to really dig deep and to investigate what kind of negative things we're going to see even further in the future as the human population continues to soar.